If at first you don't succeed, try again. Happy Wednesday, May the 4th, 2022. I could not resist and I could not forgive myself if I didn't say the joke, May the 4th be with you. And we are discussing this evening a very, very important topic. Disturb the sound of silence. See, hear, and speak. 10 minutes, 10 out of 10 on that subject. Welcome your comments, welcome your likes, welcome you to invite others to subscribe. If you're not already subscribed yourself, subscribe and share. Because this is a really, really important topic. Disturb the sound of silence. See, hear, and speak. And I'm going to give it some context. So we have 10 minutes. However, we're going to give ourselves a little bit more time this evening because there's going to be a couple of announcements later on as well. A business shout out to incredible life coach Julie Lightfoot JL Consultancy. So I'll explain a bit more about that later on as well. So to put time frame on it, if you only had 10 minutes of life left, and I know that might feel like a little bit of a sobering thought, but of course the reality of life is the current life that we have ultimately comes to a conclusion in this form. So I want you just to spend a moment or two thinking about, if you had 10 minutes of life left, what would you say? What things would you want to share? What messages would you want to convey? And of course, that may depend on who you're with, the point you're at that 10 minutes that arrives. But just think soberly about it. What would you say? What would you share? What would you speak in those last 10 minutes? And a second question I'd love to get your comments on, what needs to be heard? What needs to be heard? And there's an irony as I'm saying that genuinely. Would you like to spend your last 10 minutes of life watching the latest goings on between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Is that how you would want to spend the last 10 minutes of your life? Would you want to spend the last 10 minutes of your life talking about what's going on between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Now, that question really gives massive context to what is important for us to say now. Because, of course, we don't often consider the next 10 minutes as being the last 10 minutes of our lives. However, we need to fill every moment of our life with as many messages of value to those immediately around us and those beyond us. And within that, we have a responsibility and accountability and opportunity as well to disturb the sound of silence, to see, hear, and speak. So therefore, that leads nicely on to the second question. What is important to hear? What sounds do we need to hear? Love your comments. Welcome your comments. That's what this space is for. What do you feel needs to be listened to more? What kind of messages need to be shared? What really is news? What is newsworthy? What needs to be talked about? What needs to be listened to, engaged in? What kind of conversations and communication do we welcome the opportunity to move towards? And of course, then, that thought, your answer to that question, your comment, will then potentially form what happens. What is communicated? What is the dialogue, the interaction, the engagement of ourselves and others? Because if we only listen to, if we only hear what is coming in our direction, then of course we're going to focus on and give our attention to that which is said, and depends on the means that's coming from. But if you think of multimedia, if you think of the example I gave earlier, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, as I look into the amount of videos that there are on this subject, and I'm not saying it's not of any interest at all. I'm not even saying I'm not interested. But think about that last 10 minutes of life. What really matters? What do we need to talk about? Well, here's the message I want to share with you, and it's a message that's been shared in the last few days. Catch out on this channel, Oversold Truth Music YouTube channel. And genuinely, before I go into what I'm just about to say, so grateful for those that have subscribed already. So grateful for those that are making comments. So grateful for those that have caught up on the videos that myself and Michelle Roach have been sharing in the last few days. Messages around 7 songs of, wait for it, self-reform, social reform, that we are asking you to support us and share for, guess what? Reform. Because we are at a point in time where we welcome the opportunity, and not just welcome it, we are a part of it. We are part of one voice, a chorus of humanity, joining together in vocal messages that matter, vocal messages that need to be heard. Now, you may be doing that through the means of writing social media posts. You may be doing that through your own YouTube channel, your own social media platforms. You may have a podcast. Here, we invite you here and now, front and center, to join us and share your voice. And most importantly, your voice for self-reform. How do you do that? How do you navigate life and share your truth, your voice for truth? But of course, social reform, the opportunity for us to come together in one voice for messages that matter. Messages like ending poverty of all kinds, whatever form that takes. Corruption of all kinds, it needs to be ended. Corrupt governments, lying governments, false governments, religion and its crippling control of individuals. And within all of these, royalty, we could say, news media, we could say, whatever the form is, any form that corrupts the true voice, the true essence of us. Many of these institutes are actively involved, or at least keep held in secret, voices that need to be heard. It's a very emotive subject, and it's the subject that myself and Michelle have been talking about in the last couple of days. But human trafficking, child sex exploitation, people living on the streets, they're not living, people being without permanent housing. There's no candy floss, gentle way of saying it. People who are not living the life that they deserve to live. Issues of mental health that are caused by the fucking awful, the fucking awful injustice that is in this world. We share this planet together. If we had 10 minutes of life left, what would we do with it? Would we not share love for others, messages of love, our love, but also to encourage and promote? We wouldn't be wanting to right wrongs in our own life. Our life would be ending. We are here to play a part in collectively amplifying a voice for transformation, amplifying a voice for self-reform, social reform. That's what we're reaching out to you to share. So what would you share? What do you share? What is things that need to be truly listened to? What is the voice of the human spirit? What does it sound like? Does it sound like what you hear in the news? Does it sound like what you see or hear preached from a pulpit? Does it sound like what you hear from Parliament? What does the true sound of the voice of humanity sound like? And the answer to that is you, me, the truth of reality, not the fabricated manufactured, dogmatic, lying, hypocritical, corrupt system that surrounds us. Not that we live in, we're no part of it, but that surrounds us. So, what would you do? What would you talk about in those last 10 minutes? What does the sound like? What do we need to hear? What do we need to listen to? Look forward to your comments. Really, really do. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share. So here's a couple of announcements to conclude with in the last 5 minutes. I'm going to give myself 5 minutes with these announcements. So we just had 10 out of 10. Thank you for joining. If you're not here live, you're catching up, still comment. Love your comments on this thought of disturb the sound of silence. See, hear, and speak. What things do we really need to listen to and hear? That's number one question. What would you say? What would you share with the world in those last 10 minutes of life? So to conclude with, a couple of announcements to make, a couple of major things before I give you some information on Julie Lightfoot and how to find out more about the coaching, the life coaching that Julie provides. This will be the last live for a while. However, stay tuned, because every Wednesday there will be a pre-recorded live. And there are a couple of reasons for that. And one of the reasons is, you may or may not hear or notice, there are a couple of technical issues. Now, what I actually planned to share in the past was truth music playing in. I was planning to use split screens, various things like that. Now, currently, at this present moment in time, I don't have the facility to do that. However, what I've decided to do is one live the first Wednesday of every month. So the next live would be, ironically, Wednesday, June the 1st. But every Wednesday until then, so one live a month, the first Wednesday of every month, every Wednesday throughout the rest of the month, there will be a pre-recorded live. And what this gives the opportunity to do is improve the content. That's what I'm desiring to do. Not just my voice, but yours. That's why I invite growing businesses, or if you have a social reform cause, grassroots, ground level, something that's really making a change in your local community, share it with me. I promise you, if you subscribe to this channel, unless you're already subscribed, which is cool too, if you subscribe to this channel, I will create video comment, an image at the beginning, a 3 to 4 minute video, an image at the end with music beneath, and then on the pre-recorded lives, that will go as an advert in the middle of those pre-recorded lives. We will continue to share within the live a link attachment, which I'll talk a little bit more about at the end. But share with us what you're doing, what you're part of, because we want to shine a light on you. We're not shining a light on big corporations. They've got enough advertising as it is already. We are here growing together our own society. So that's number one that I want to share with you. Doing pretty well. We're not up to 5 minutes yet. The other thing, really, really important message to share. Remember this, 2 days' time, this coming Friday, May the 6th, 2022, the EP album, I think I've invented a new term there. It's somewhere between an EP and an album. Stop the Earth from Weeping will be released worldwide. 7 songs for, you've heard it already, self-reform. They will empower you. They will uplift you. They will elevate you. They will help you to rise, ascend to a truer, fuller version of yourself. They also contribute towards and will contribute towards social reform. The messages are powerful. And we invite you, we encourage you, we ask you, support and share these 7 songs for social reform. Stream, download, share, because together we will make a difference. And it is time for change. So next week, pre-recorded live, send us a message. If you would like us to share you and what you're doing, subscribe and we will prescribe you. 10 seconds left. So top right hand corner as you face, click on the eye tomorrow. Okay, if you're watching now, click on the eye. Julie Lightfoot. I had the incredible privilege, Michelle had the incredible privilege of meeting Julie Lightfoot JL Consultancy, life coach. Julie, incredible human being. Click on the eye, and tomorrow there will be a drop-down video, and Julie will share more about herself there. That's what this is all about. We grow together. Remember, this Friday, stop the earth from weeping. This is not a plea. This is a statement. We will rise as one. Yes, we must. Yes, we can. But we will rise as one. This is time for change. Comment, like, subscribe, share, and next week we will share a pre-recorded live for you next Wednesday. Until then, have a beautiful rest of the day and look forward to catching up with you soon. Bye-bye.